Good afternoon, Craig Setzer in CBS 4 Weather Control. We've got the 2 o'clock intermediate advisory in, which updates the numbers up here. It does not update the track forecast. That next update will come at 5 o'clock. And still, the big headline is we have nearly a Category 5 storm. It's upper end Category 4 out there with 150-mile-an-hour winds. This is consistent with the earlier advisory. The pressure is down there. It's steady. So it hasn't strengthened anymore for the moment, and it is moving to the west at 8 miles an hour, or just slightly north of due west. And of course, that direction is important because if it moves due west, it's going to look like it's coming much closer to us, and I think it is for a while going to move pretty close to due west. So it's going to be a little bit intimidating here, sitting here looking at this this storm, this ferocious storm, this intense storm heading our way. In fact, if we look at the satellite loop, you can see it there. That's a scary sight. Anytime you look out there and you can see Florida in the picture and you see this small, intense hurricane that's moving to the west, it's a pretty unnerving sight there. So I understand what everybody's feeling. Everybody's nerves are up, but because of what we're seeing in the models, the sense is that we're pausing our preparations today as we wait for the other newer models to come in and additional advisories to come in. And as that happens, the new models and the additional advisories, we will either have our confidence grow that we're not going to be dealing with this as a direct hit, or we might have to resume our planning tomorrow, our preparations tomorrow. But right now we're paused in our preparations, but we're paying very close attention to what's going on. So let's go forward into time here and see what happens. There is the future track. That's through Monday morning now, and the Monday morning position is through the Bahamas, the northwest Bahamas there, Abaco and Grand Bahama, and we have great concern for those islands, those beautiful islands of the northwest Bahamas. I know folks are watching us very, very closely as they are rushing their preparations to completion as quickly as they can. Then after that, there is the turn to the north, and then, of course, the rest of the East Coast and Southeast U.S. is watching, as were we and as we are, with great anticipation as well. So let's just talk about a few things about what we're going to keep doing today. We're going to watch that motion to the west. Any deviation to the south of the west motion would be of concern. The other thing we're going to be paying attention to is the intensity of the storm. It's very, very strong right now, and if it goes down some, you might think that's good, but a lot of times a hurricane kind of looks like this in the wind field, with that being the middle of it, and when it decreases, all that energy, all that momentum in the middle spreads out. It doesn't mean that we're going to get hit here directly from it, at least not based on the current models. But if it spreads out like that, then the wind field gets larger, and our effects are greater in terms of just a windier day on Monday and Tuesday, and maybe more squalls coming in. But the thinking right now is, tomorrow, still a good weather day. That's why we're pausing today. We have an opportunity, if we need to do shutters or anything like that tomorrow. And that's why we're going to pay attention to what's going on with it. Also, the weather is expected to go downhill. Winds come up Sunday night. Monday, rainy, windy, probably some power outages, a pretty nasty day. Monday night, the same story because it's going so slow. Even Tuesday could be a very stormy day in terms of wind and rain, maybe some street flooding, things like that. The one thing we don't want, of course, is the core of the storm to come over us, and right now the likelihood of that is still fairly low. But we are going to feel the effects of this, so that's something we need to prepare for. I think tomorrow what we'll do is we will move anything that can be blown around in or secured, because there is going to be some wind with this. It's not going to be a complete miss where we get nothing, but right now it doesn't look like the core will directly hit South Florida. Of course, we'll keep you up to date and keep watching this and bring you updates as needed throughout the afternoon right here on CBS 4.
Pro plan